Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, known by his stage name Logic, is an American rapper. He was born and raised in Gaithersburg, Maryland. He has amassed a large internet following and is a member of the RattPack, his group of friends that he works with. Logic has released 4 official mixtapes, with the most recent being the critically acclaimed Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever. He is currently signed with Visionary Music Group and Def Jam Recordings. Early life: Logic was born in 1990 in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Throughout his childhood, both his African-American father and Caucasian mother suffered from crack addiction and alcoholism. His father was not a part of his childhood, but they are in contact with each other now. Growing up, his brothers sold crack cocaine and even sold the drug to his father. He attended Gaithersburg High School but did not graduate. He began skipping classes in the 10th grade. I started doing badly and failed every class but English, so they kicked me out of school. They gave up on me. Logic was expelled and used his free time to dive into pursuing his music career. In hindsight, he wishes he would have stayed in school and received a proper education and always encourages his fans to do so. I remember telling the kids, at my old high school, all you kids that are here today to watch me speak to you guys have people that actually love you and care about you that make you go to school. Unregistered trademark. And I said, there are people in this auditorium as well that have nobody, but unregistered trademark. We still here and those same people are stronger than even I was. Unregistered trademark. So education is a real big deal. Logic left his move era unregistered trademark's home at 17, lived with a friend, and got 2 jobs. Since then, he and his mother have drifted apart and are no longer on speaking terms. Career: early years: at the age of 13, Logic met his mentor, Solomon Taylor. When Logic was 16, Taylor brought him a large number of beat CDs to write lyrics over. In 2009, Logic was going by the name Psychological because one name that really stuck was psychological. I just loved this word because it was about the mind and I knew that's what I wanted my music to consist of. Something that really challenges the mind. He released an unofficial mixtape titled Psychological, the Mixtape, under his original stage name. Later on, Logic opened for Pitbull, EPMD, Method Man, Redman, and Ludacris at a show in Maryland. Shortly thereafter, he shortened the Psychological moniker to Logic, which is the science of reasoning, to broaden his horizons. 2010 2012, various mixtapes. On December 17, 2010, Logic released his first official mixtape, Young, Broke, and Infamous. Following its release, he dropped 2 music videos from the project, Stain in the Game, and Backpack. The mixtape caught the ear of Chris Zarrow, who wanted Logic to be a part of his upstart independent record label Visionary Music Group. Logic released his second mixtape, Young Sinatra, on September 19, 2011. Young Sinatra received a mass amount of positive feedback from multiple sources including XXL. He released music videos for songs such as Mind of Logic, All I Do, and Prime. The All I Do video was the first for Logic to hit over 1 million views on YouTube. On March 15, 2012, Billboard declared Logic as the next big sound, meaning he was the fastest accelerating artist across the internet gaining fans. On March 20, 2012, Logic officially signed with Visionary Music Group. Logic stated in an interview, "Visionary Music Group is like Rockefeller. Dash, that's like Chris Zarrow of Visionary Music Group. I like to see myself as a J. In no way am I arrogant or cocky, I have to see it in order to do it. They did it independent and when they signed with a major, they did it the way that they wanted to do it." Logic released his third mixtape, Young Sinatra, Undeniable on April 30, 2012. On the mixtape, Logic addresses such topics as his future, his fans in various parts of the world, his father's drug use, getting kicked out of school, and his mother getting stabbed. The overall sound is on a bigger level than his previous work and does an outstanding job at showing his versatility. Fans tend to think that if you fall in love with an artist because he makes this kind of sound and then he gets bigger and he grows and he starts to make a different sound, he's changing on us. But with me, I created all types of sounds from the get-go, so you can never say I'm changing, you can never say I'm going mainstream or I'm selling out. In an interview, Logic states, "There's stuff on there for the motherfuckers that don't pay attention to lyrics and just want to have fun, but every line is constructed with such depth that the real lyricists and nitpickers have something to listen to and analyze as well." One of Logic's main goals for his music is to make music with a positive message, telling people to follow their dreams, whatever it may be, all while walking with honor and peace. In July-August 2012, Logic completed his first national headlining tour, the Visionary Music Group Tour, along with Tayyip Ali, 2013 a Euro present, Def Jam signing and Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever. Beginning in early 2013, Logic started working on his fourth official mixtape. Logic completed his first European tour March 2013, which included stops in Amsterdam, Belgium, Switzerland, and London. His fourth mixtape, Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever, was shortly after slated to release May 7, 2013. Logic also announced his second headlining national tour, the Welcome to Forever Tour, in support of his upcoming mixtape. In early 2013, Logic was featured on the cover of XXL, as part of its annual Top 10 Freshman list, along with fellow up-and-coming rappers Trinidad James, Dizzy Wright, Action Bronson, Joey Badass, Ab-Soul, Chief Keef, and Schoolboy Q, among others. On April 15, 2013, it was announced that Logic had signed with Def Jam Recordings and that No ID will be executive producing his debut album. Logic would speak of the signing saying, "I'm excited to take this next step in my career. It's incredible for Def Jam Records and Visionary Music Group to work together, and the opportunity to collaborate with a living legend like No ID is priceless. I'm very humbled to be a part of the most iconic hip-hop label of all time." On April 23, he premiered one of the songs off Welcome to Forever, Nasty, which was produced by Don Cannon. Following his fourth mixtape's release, on May 14, 2013, Logic began the Welcome to Forever tour, which lasted 2 months. On May 7, 2013, Logic released his fourth official mixtape, Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever. The mixtape featured guest appearances by Gene Aiko, Kid Ink, Trinidad James, Dizzy Wright, Castro, Elijah Blake and John Bellion. Production was handled by No ID, Don Cannon, Key Wayne, Seasick, Swift D, Arthur MacArthur, VMG's in-house producer 66, and Logic himself. The mixtape reached 100,000 downloads on DatPiff in under 24 hours. On July 15, 2013, it was announced that Logic would be touring with Kid Cudi, Big Sean and Tyler, the Creator on the Cud Life Tour 2013 and late 2013. On November 5, 2013, Logic revealed that No ID, Hit Boy, 66, and Seasick would be providing production on his debut album, which is scheduled for a 2014 release. On January 27, 2014, Visionary Music Group released 24 Freestyle via SoundCloud in celebration of Logic's 24th birthday. The track is the first time all VMG artists have been featured on one song. On February 11, 2014, EDM band Quelle announced that they would be headlining the 2014 Verge Campus Spring Tour with support of Logic. On April 8, Logic released a new song titled Now, which was supposed to be on his upcoming EP titled While You Wait. At the same time, he also announced that he would be embarking on the While You Wait tour with fellow Visionary Music Group members Quest and Castro. A week later, Logic released the title track of the EP. A week after that, he released Alright, the third song from the once-anticipated While You Wait EP. The song features fellow Def Jam artist Big Sean. Logic followed this up on May 7 with a freestyle called Finding Forever. On June 7, Logic explained plans to scrap the While You Wait EP project, and get straight to releasing his first studio album instead. Personal life: in 2009, Logic had come out of a 5-year relationship while working on his music. You can put your everything into a relationship, but that doesn't mean you're going to get back what you give. When I created my first mixtape, I realized everything I put in my music the hours, the lyricism, the time, the grind, pain, sweat, blood, tears I get it back. I see it. He stated in an interview, the thing is, I feel like so many artists, well, not really artists but so many people think they can rap and they just want a deal and the glitz and the glamour and the women but they don't understand that all I do and want to do is rhyme. I think I've sacrificed so much from my relationships to my friendships to my family. I've literally sacrificed my entire life and I'm honest. Logic has referred to himself as a huge pothead when he was growing up. He has said recently that, I'd own a unregistered trademark tea drink. I'd own a unregistered trademark tea smoke weed. I used to smoke. I used to be a pretty big pothead when I was younger, but I'd own a unregistered trademark tea smoke. I might have an occasional glass of champagne. He credits the way his family was growing up as his reason for not doing drugs. Logic believes, you are not defined by the material you possess or the amount of money in your bank account, what defines you is how you attain them. Influences: Logic first became interested in rap by watching the movie Kill Bill at the age of 15, for which LZA of Wu-Tang Clan did the score. He started listening to Wu-Tang and delved deeper into hip-hop from there. The first hip-hop album he bought was The Roots' Do You Want More? Other big influences include his mentor Solomon Taylor and friend Lenbo, who let Logic live with him and make music in his basement. Although he is a hip-hop artist, Logic is heavily influenced by Frank Sinatra. As a child, his mother made him watch old black and white movies, which formed his love for Frank Sinatra and influenced how he represents himself with the way he speaks and how he interacts with others with peace, love, grace, positivity, honor, and valor. Because of Frank Sinatra, Logic says he does his best to carry himself in an intellectual and kind manner. Just as Sinatra had the RattPack, Logic has his RattPack. Logic describes Sinatra as a man who was suave, debonair, honorable, respectable, with valor and grace. Logic's female fans are also called Bobby Soxers just as Frank's were. He describes Bobby Soxer girls as beautiful, intelligent, elegant, educated, classy, hard-working, young women. Logic also refers to himself as Young Sinatra. Logic has said that a never-ending list of artists have influenced him including Wu-Tang Clan, Big L, A Tribe Called Quest, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rakim, Drake, J. Cole, KRS-One and Nas. He has also stated that all music inspires him, including the Red Hot Chili Peppers, John Coltrane, and Miles Davis. He says that all the classic artists are what really gave him a foundation, but the newer artists are also his inspirations, and he brings the best of both worlds to his music. Logic says, I love all subgenres within hip-hop and all genres of music and I think that's what allows me to make the music that I do, because of my appreciation for the music. Discography, studio albums, TBA, mixtapes, references. External links, official website, Logic on Twitter.